November is about to bring us some of the most long-awaited LEGO sets of the year, along with big piece counts and price tags. Should you overlook them? No. Remember, this November, the bricks and sets, the whole lot, for I know of no reason why LEGO this season should ever be forgot. So, let's check them out, shall we? We will start with this, X-Men The X-Mansion, this being set 76294, coming in with 3,093 pieces, and boy, has it been a long wait for this one. A very hyped set, a lot of fans have been waiting a very long time for this. First things first, price, it's $330, same in euros, £290. That's just around 9.5 cents, just over 10.5 cents per piece, if you like to work it out that way. But I think we need to return to price after we've had a proper look at the set, because it's a little bit contentious. There's a lot of good, but there's also some bad. First things first, this model is based upon the original animated series from the 90s and also X-Men 97, which, in the unlikely event that you haven't seen it, started streaming on Disney Plus not long back now. Personally, I do like the colours. I think that has been captured very nicely. The big problem with the exterior of this building is really twofold. Firstly, it's too small in the sense of we don't have any of the gardens, which are a big part of the X-Mansion, all of the grounds. It's just the tiniest of little bits around the edge of our building. That is a big shame. And then, of course, size is also the problem for the building itself, because it's really quite cramped. Obviously, it isn't minifigure scale. That's not a problem. It's good to get the minifigs. Quite used to having buildings from Marvel which aren't minifigure scale. The Avengers Tower is the very obvious one to draw a parallel to. It works brilliantly with minifigs, but if it was actually in scale, the whole build would need to be considerably larger than it actually is. I'm not expecting that from this model, but I think what a lot of people are disappointed by is that it just needed to be a little bit taller. Even if you had an extra couple of bricks on each floor, it would have made it that little bit more imposing and would have given more room. Now, I do want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't want to be too harsh on something, but at the same time, when you've been waiting for such a long period, and when the fans are really passionate about it, which has to be said for this set, they really need to make sure that they try to make it as perfect as they possibly can. And a basic thing is just getting the sizing reasonably proportionate and right from the beginning. So that's kind of a big problem with the building overall. On the upside, yes, it is completely modular. That does mostly give a lot of good access. However, many of the rooms are still very cramped. I mean, if we have a look in here, the detailing is brilliant, and that does have to be said. Whilst the building, I feel, falls down on the exterior, it does make up for it big time when you get on the inside. But you can tell just by this picture, each of these rooms are small. They're cramped in. It's difficult to position minifigures in that, and of course have any reasonable sort of playability in them. We will come back to the minifigs in a minute. You know, if you read LEGO's marketing pitch for this, one of the big aspects is supposedly the interactivity and the playability of the set. That's great. I'm really glad that they've included it, but it's quite fiddly and very difficult to get to, and that therefore defeats the point of it. So I feel like they've tried to combine obviously a very much UCS style set in terms of displayability with some play factors and just scale it down too small, so it become kind of difficult to enjoy in that regard. On the plus side, whilst it might not be the easiest thing to access and play with, at least there is loads going on in this that you can enjoy. And we also have some really classic rooms included in the mansion. Of course, they're not going to be able to feature everything, but we do have a lot here. And just looking through the pictures, I really appreciate all the little details. Here's the thing that I find negative though. If you were hoping for a load of printed elements, you're going to be disappointed, because a huge amount of these details are stickers. There are 54 of them in this set. 54 stickers. Now, I hate stickers, whereas I know that for some people, they really don't find them an issue, but 54 is just far too many. Again, this is a set which costs $330. And whilst I absolutely don't expect them to be printing all of the elements to get that level of detail, relying so heavily on sticker sheets is really disappointing for this price point. The thing is though, we do have to be fair. whilst $330 is certainly not cheap, this equally could have been a set that was far more expensive. There has to be a cut-off point somewhere, and therefore some compromising. To my mind, the question becomes, where are the compromises worth it? Well, sadly, some have been made with the minifigs, and I don't feel that this is a place where they should have been. First and foremost, Wolverine is a repeat of what we've had before. Professor X, absolutely love the floating chair. I think that looks brilliant. The head we have had so many times before, it's ridiculous. The torso isn't original either. You know, we've been waiting so long for this character, it really feels like a cop-out that he's just been made to look as he has. You know, of course, not having a hairpiece, there's only the one facial expression, so just going for a generic head we've had for so many different characters in the past, I find that really disappointing. Now, by comparison, Storm, I actually really like this minifig. Yes, we've had her before. Torso is from a collectible minifig, but we've now got the yellow trim around the cape and also the longer flowing hair instead of the mohawk. It's a really nice change. You know, I'm not expecting completely new elements everywhere. These few changes, they're all I ask for. Really like her a lot. Cyclops, we've had him before. It's pretty much an exact repeat, except now we have the yellow bands just on the front of the legs, which is a weird choice because surely they should have just been dual molded so that we actually have his yellow boots. But again, I guess, compromise trade-off. Rogue, this is the same minifig that we had from the Jet set earlier on, and, you know, I'm disappointed, to be honest, that we do just have a copy. It's a nice minifig, although, as I said at the time back then, the colour matching isn't great, and things like that really should not be an issue, I don't think, now with minifigs, but it seems to be something that LEGO still has a problem trying to sort out. Then we come to Bobby, or Iceman, and I've got to say, I really do not like this at all. You know, there have been a couple of different fakes of this minifig that you can buy, which is not something that I subscribe to, I don't do that, but they have looked really quite good, and this is pretty big disappointment to my mind. I don't like the torso or the legs, but the big letdown is just the face printing. It doesn't represent him as a character at all. This looks like a sort of cheerful guy who's been dressed up in a suit and is going to try and sell you some ice cream. Definitely not the Iceman that I would have wanted. However, on the flip side of things, we come to Gambit, and I really like this minifig. I think they've done a fantastic job. I love the colour of the coat. I would have liked it if we could have actually had, you know, a proper long coat to put on him, but to be fair, the way that this has been printed, I think it's been done brilliantly. I love the detail, the hairpiece is super. You know, I could ask for more, but I think it would be unfair. So actually a really good job. Also, Bishop has been done brilliantly too. There's no problem with bleeding of colours here. They're vibrant, printed really nicely. It was a bit of a surprising inclusion, but a great minifig to have. And then Magneto, thankfully with his helmet, which we haven't had since 2017, and thank goodness they didn't just repeat what we got from the minifig in the Jet set, because that was a bit of an abomination. Much happier with how he looks here. It's a good inclusion. So overall, a really mixed bag when it comes to the minifigs in this set. And then, whilst not a minifig, of course we have to touch on the Sentinel. I think this one will split opinions. Personally, I don't like it in the way it's been done. To me, it looks really quite cheap compared to the rest of this set. That's not a complaint against the colours, it's just the way that it's been put together, and I think the sticker on the face, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a very, very cheap version of the LEGO construction figures that they've been doing. So I'm not a fan, but I can understand that other people will not have a problem with that at all. But I think that that sums up this set. It's very much a compromise. I think LEGO has given us something that many have wanted for a very long time. That's why it's had so much hype. Unfortunately, that means it is going to come in for a lot of just being analysed to the nth degree and therefore get quite a bit of criticism for anything that isn't exactly perfect. And I'll even admit, I'm kind of doing that here. But I kind of like the fact that that's what LEGO brings out in people. It is this passion and caring about what a set looks like. I'm not massively disappointed with this. I just feel that it not only could have been better, it should have been better. So it's definitely not bad. It's something that I will be getting, and I think that most fans will be. I can't even massively complain about the price because I can see how this easily would have been quite a bit more. I just feel that for its price, there shouldn't be that many stickers in the set. You know, just it should have been that little bit taller. Also to have had a little bit more gardens included, or else if you weren't going to do that, at least improve some of those minifigs. So I'm not expecting it all, but I do feel like cost cutting has happened in too many places across this set, and that is a shame. Now, if you do want to buy this on release day, you will also get the X-Men Cerebro gift with purchase. This is 153 pieces and a much bigger version of what's in the mansion itself. It also comes with a unique Xavier, although all parts of the minifig we've had before, so you can literally just make this yourself. Thanks, Lego. For me, I think I'll pass on the GWP and pick up the mansion when it's next double points, as although I want it, I'm not going to be rushing out to pay full retail on day one. Of course, as with all the sets on this list, comment down below on whether you agree or disagree. Will you be grabbing this day one? Let me know. Next then, we switch to LEGO Ideas, and this, the long-awaited Botanical Gardens. It does seem that as November is light on the ground for volume of sets, LEGO has saved it for serving up the ones that have been teased for a long time. Anyway, this is 21353, and it comes with 3,792 pieces for the price of $330 US, €330 or £280. Price per piece, that's just under 9 cents or 7.5 pence. Sometimes price per piece helps to put things in perspective, but here, whilst it's not bad, the overall price of this set seems high. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I think it looks very pretty, and it would make for a wonderful display set, but this doesn't have a third-party IP bumping the cost up, and it's coming to us after the Friends Themes Botanical Garden set 41757, something that has been repeatedly discounted at multiple retailers for a long time, and if you bought 2 sets to combine into one, even at full retail, you're still looking at less than half the price of this. Now that's hard to swallow because this Friends set, whilst not as detailed or polished, is still very nice. Even more perplexing is that if you wait until January, we'll have the new LEGO Icons Gardens of the World sub-theme, beginning with 10359, Spanish Gardens, and that's 1,302 pieces for £90, $100, €100, and that will then continue with other iconic gardens around the world. I even suspect that the Hanging Gardens of Babylon could well come our way before too much longer. And all of that will mean that there will not be a shortage of choice for the LEGO horticulturists among us. Anyway, I can't quite fathom then why they thought that this, admittedly beautiful set, should have the price point it does. I mean, it's a stunning looking model. I think the building experience would be pretty good, even if placing all the small plant pieces will be somewhat arduous. And having fun elements like this small cafe, it's a nice touch. And the 12 minifigs that come with the set are all very welcome additions, as is the dog. Can never have too many of those. But this set, it's too close to what the Friends theme already offers us to warrant splashing this much cash, in my opinion. However, if it's a day one must buy for you, then you will also get an exclusive gift with purchase, namely this entrance gate. This is an extra 152 pieces, which from the leaked images don't actually appear to be able to affix to the main build, so you may need to do a bit of improvisation to get it looking good in your setup. You know, overall, I really like this set. I'm just disappointed by the price. Moving on, next is 40698, the LEGO Ideas Books Are My Passion. This has been another set very long in the pipeline. Originally the reading winning submission for the Me, Myself and I challenge. Now, as this relates to Chinese Singles Day, November the 11th, I'd guess that's when it's releasing. Now, it's purported to be a GWP, but the spend threshold is not confirmed yet. I would like to think it's not higher than £130, $150. I'll have to update it in the pinned comment below when it's confirmed, but depending on the exact release date, if you hold off on buying the Botanical Garden, you could well pick this up along with the entrance gate if buying that set. Now, I do think this is pretty cool, although it's been changed from the original submission, with the biggest disappointment being that the small globe is now just a printed minifig head. It is nonetheless a very sweet little build. I think it'll appeal to a lot of people. You could also adapt this pretty easily to fit in with other themes and setups, so I wonder why builds like this are released as GWPs rather than small, actually affordable sets which would then fly off the shelves. I mean, post your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you could just buy this, I would definitely get it. I think it's really nice. Time now though to make a complete change of theme, as on November 14th the new LEGO video game is releasing, namely Horizon Adventure. Now I'm a big fan of the LEGO games. They often give a humorous, family-friendly take on things which can also be enjoyable to play without having to sink hours and hours into it. For those though who only like physical sets, do not despair, as this does signpost good things to come. The original Horizon Forbidden West Tallneck set, 76989, it was pretty popular and a very refreshing build. Now, with the LEGO version of the game releasing, rumours are of course much stronger on there being more sets to come. I've not seen anything confirmed by reliable sources yet, but there is rarely smoke without fire, and I wouldn't be surprised if next year brought us a new one. With that said, before we get to the Icons theme, we need to take a quick pit stop for the BrickLink Designer Programme. Obviously, crowdfunding for Series 3 has been going on, along with the voting for Series 6. If you haven't seen my videos on that, make sure you do, they're absolutely fabulous. But November will see the release of Series 2 sets. That also means that your bank accounts are going to be charged if you've ordered any, so don't forget that. The 5 sets in question are the Logging Railway, the Ocean House and Ominous Isle, none of which, if my memory serves correctly, actually sold out, and then the Mushroom House and Brickcross Train Station, both of which did max out the 30,000 copies very quickly. Regardless though, if you didn't order at the time, the only way to get these now is on the secondary market. But for those of you who did, you can expect these to be built and shipped in November. So that means it's time to look at the Icons theme, as November 29th, aka Black Friday, will see the release of set 10335. This is very heavily rumoured to be the Endurance, the ship that sailed from South Georgia in December 1914, just to become stuck in ice in the Weddell Sea, Antarctica. Sir Ernest Shackleton and his crew were stuck for 10 months before ice crushed the ship's hull and it sank. That surviving crew made it to the uninhabited Elephant Island, from whence they then made a 1,300-kilometre or 800-mile voyage in the small 22-foot lifeboat, the James Caird, back to South Georgia. All pretty incredible, and as we've been awaiting the next LEGO ship for a long time, this has a lot of expectation. It's reported to come with 3,011 pieces and priced at $260, same in euros, £220. The only issue is that because this is releasing right at the end of November, there's no official confirmation or leaked images from reliable sources. Beware, there are some AI generated fakes that have been doing the rounds. Now, as an added bonus, for buying this upon release, there is going to be GWP 40729, the James Caird lifeboat with 232 pieces. More details will come over the next couple of weeks, maybe even as soon as the live event that LEGO is doing on October 22nd. I will put updates in the description or pinned comment below and upload official pics once they're leaked to the community page for those who are subscribed. So those are the confirmed sets currently for November. There are several others swirling around, such as the Pirate Chest, which is rumoured to be another GWP, although I suspect could well be a collectible to spend insider points on from the rewards page. As always, I will update below if any more slip in, as the vicar once said to the actress. Get discussing what you think of them down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, get a tattoo of my channel name on your forehead, all the normal stuff, and I will see you on the next one.